Welcome back. Joining us virtually this afternoon is our financial expert, Nick Sapienza. Nick, good afternoon. So today we're talking about kind of investing. So should people kind of be more active in their investing, or should they just kind of go on autopilot and see what happens?
This is probably the most relevant topic for the last year. It's been largely a stock picker's market. You're seeing, or at least I'm seeing, people that have been mostly passive on autopilot want to be more quote unquote active, and whatever that means to them. So we can start off with there's two ideas that coexist. First is the efficient market hypothesis, which we've talked about a little bit. This is basically the gospel for finance nerds. What it means is just that all publicly available information is reflected in stock prices immediately. No one has an edge, and trying to find one and trying to pick stocks and use options is a waste of time. Of course, there are varying degrees of this, and I like to think that it mostly applies to very long periods of time, and looking at like the lifetime return for the S&P 500. Because if you think about it, or if you've looked at the data, most individual stocks actually underperform their own index over their lifetime. Trying to pick which stock is going to do well over the next year, it can be really, really tough. But this has largely been a stock picker's market. People that have been more active have been rewarded handsomely for doing so. But again, most of your return is going to come from a handful of stocks, and no one knows exactly which ones they'll be. So it's good to cast a wide net for probably the largest portion of your portfolio. Then, and that's one idea, right?
Okay.
Everything's efficient. Then on the other side of that, you have bubbles. You have markets like we're in now. You have people that are becoming day traders and millionaires overnight. You're seeing YouTube ads that are just absolutely ridiculous. But both can coexist. In fact, Gene Fama wrote the paper or won a Nobel Prize for his work on efficient market hypothesis. And in the same year, Robert Shiller also won a Nobel Prize for his work on irrational exuberance and the fact that bubbles can exist. So both have a place. Irrational exuberance and such, maybe over shorter periods of time, whereas efficient markets is more over longer periods of time. So they can both have a place. The way to think about this for your average investor is that the majority of your portfolio should be on autopilot, like you said.
Yeah.
It should be passive, well diversified, because you don't know what's going to happen. And so most of your return should come from the random walk of Wall Street, to quote the book. Maybe there's another portion of your portfolio that should be reasonably more active. It would be lazy to otherwise not be. Where this is, that's to be determined, or how much of your portfolio should it be. I'm not going to get into that today, but I think you have an idea that, or just be of the mind that you're, and so on and so forth.
You always break it down for us so well, Nick. Thank you so much for joining us virtually this afternoon. And really quick, what's a good email so people can reach you?
Nick S, NICKS at RITHOLTZ wealth.com.
Nick, thank you so much again for joining us virtually today.